Welcome to the Mainly Wrestling Show. I'm Jack Milner, joined once again by Alicia Almeida on Jen Jacobs. The time of recording, it's Thursday, the 11th of May. Different way around if you do the dates in America. It's been a while since we talked. Lissy, what have I missed in the world of professional wrestling? So, sorry, I'll rephrase that. So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. It's your show. What do you want to talk about?
See, if you were a member of, like, if you listened to Jim Cornette's podcast, that would be a funny joke, but never mind. Do we not even get any? We don't even get the Cody impression.
Wouldn't listen to that.
What do you want to talk about?
You've got to do the shoulders, right? What do you want to talk about?
No, like he sways a tiny bit.
Bit like Moxley. What do you want to talk about?
Well, the biggest news since we've got back together is the big new signing at All Elite, Will Washington. I know Jack hates him.
I don't hate him.
I personally am a big fan. Grapsody is one of the best podcasts out there that isn't ours. And it's going to be a shame to not have 3 hours of Will Washington to listen to every Saturday morning, and an hour and a half a day after Dynamite on a Thursday. But that's what happens. Yeah. He's All Elite now, and I think with his wrestling brain, anyone that has ever listened to him for any amount of time knows that he's got an incredible wrestling brain. So he's going to be awesome for things like continuity and things like that. And that's just going to be super important, adding yet another show to the roster imminently. We haven't had the announcement as we're recording yet, but there was last night an announcement of an announcement. So we can expect AEW Collision pretty soon, I think.
Tony Khan's got a big announcement again.
Shocking.
At least we know what it is this time.
At least we know what it is. But again, from a financial aspect, right, for $1 billion trousered by TK for the next 5 years, that changed the landscape, right, in terms of professional wrestling in North America, because WWE are probably going to negotiate something along similar. I think they got $1 billion from Fox, right, for 4 years, 800 million from the USA Network. The boys are going to be making a shed load of cash. That's what, 5 hours of AEW TV, 5 hours of 6 hours, 7 hours of WWE TV. Sure, this is only good for the wrestlers, right? They're going to earn more money.
Of course, it's good for everyone.
We're going to have a lot of wrestling options.
If you love wrestling, it's a good thing. If you are a fanboy of one show or the other and you get upset by fanboy or girl, I don't know why you're saying
fan person, yeah.
Fan person.
Stanford, yeah.
I don't want to get political here, but I think it's okay to say fanboy as the blanket.
I don't know why. I was trying to figure out why Jack was like, you can't say fanboy. Anyway, you could. I don't. There's no problem if you have one preference, one way or the other. I'm not saying that. It's people that like reject any AEW didn't sell 70,000 tickets. TK was buying them all. Oh, Vince McMahon's behind the company. Like, oh, they're losing money hand over fist. There's some fucking loser on Twitter called lockbetting.com. And I reference this because we talk about betting a lot. And I wouldn't want anyone to think that we're in any way affiliated with this fucking moron. And he was like, oh, they've lost like, yeah, Bill Batty. He's an absolute cunt. I don't know if you saw the tweet that he put out, Lissy, after
Selena Vega.
Sorry, what's her name? Selena Vega. Teared up in the ring after her, match in Puerto Rico. And he said, look, it was something like Bad Bunny didn't tear up in the ring because he's a real star, but this fucking loser tears up in the ring. And he said, she was crying like her daddy just exploded. Her dad being someone who died in 9/11. Like, that's the kind of moron that we're dealing with. That's why, I reserved the C word for very few people, but that's the kind of cunt that we're dealing with here. So.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't even want to give this person like airtime or anything, but like.
I wanted to mention it because I know we talk about betting on wrestling a lot on the show, and his personal account got deleted because this is the kind of shit he says. So he tweets from lockbetting.com on Twitter. I wouldn't want anyone to think that we're in any way associated or affiliated with him.
No, this is for him. Like, seriously, like, fuck you.
And that's not even
like
that's not probably one of the worst things that he tweeted, but it's not like, he still kept it up. He still stands behind his words and he says shit like that all the time. So, yeah. And he is, and the reason I mentioned that is because he's a WWE fanboy and is one of these conspiracy theorists that like they're losing money hand over fist. They're not successful. They've not actually sold however many tickets they say that they've sold at Wembley Stadium. And news like this, that another wrestling company aside from WWE is getting a huge TV deal, is good for anyone that enjoys wrestling, is happy for wrestlers getting to do what they want to do on a show for us, because they're going to make more money. They're going to have more options. It's good for everyone. So if you love wrestling, good news.
Yeah, very good news. And yeah, to make the point, Judges, we bet a lot. Right? We've been even betting on the attendance, right, at Wembley, and it's allegedly 60,000 tickets sold, and it is insane to me.
60 now, wow.
I think he said 59. Was it 59,000 as of last week?
Last week when I read it, it was just at 50. But I've been so out of the loop the last like 7 days or so.
But it's insane to me, and whether this is, I don't know whether this is a social media thing, right, where people immediately come out and say, well, that's obviously nonsense, or that's lies, or it's a cover-up. Where is this new reality, or not even reality, full reality, where somebody says something, it has to be wrong, it has to be lies? Like, I don't understand the suspiciousness around things and the conspiracy theories. I don't get it. But this is very much like wrestling Twitter, right?
Well, I think too. Sorry, JJ.
Well, I think a lot of this sort of like mistrust of Trump media or anything, I think genuinely a lot of it stems from Trump, right? Yeah. And then I think Elon Musk taking over Twitter has impacted it as well, because I think he's right. But yeah, I think there's a lot of politicians that want to do bad things that prefer it if the media are distrusted, because then you can say that everything that they are saying that is bad about you is lies and bullshit. So anyway.
Well, I also think, like, I was talking to a friend about this, and when I saw the 50,000 figure, I was like, wow, that's a lot of tickets. But also, you have to realize that the UK is the type of country, and the UK fans are the type of fans who really like AEW, like who really enjoy the product, right?
They really like wrestling as a whole, like TNA, Smash It, WWE.
Absolutely. But I'm saying, like, it's huge there. They do have some British stars, or at least some international stars that people want to see that are going there. Also, like, not for nothing, but like, this is still on the heels of COVID being over. This is like the first couple of years of people being able to go outside after being inside for a couple of years, and being able to be like, oh shit, there's a huge show at Wembley. We've not had a wrestling show at Wembley at the actual stadium in 31 years. It's going to be by that time. Like, that's a big deal. So I think that people are not just coming just from, UK. Like, I'm coming from USA. It's a place that I love to go. I think a lot of people might be going from other parts of Europe and stuff like that. Like, I think that
John and I.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. You guys are going from Gibraltar. Like, I don't think that it's not reasonable that many people will travel. We've proven that wrestling fans as a whole, we travel. Like, when you go to WrestleMania, you meet people from all over the world. Why wouldn't AEW get that type of attention in a place like that?
And the thing is, it's not like they've done a big show before in, Germany or Spain or France. Like, this is their first European show. So if you're in one of those countries, like, it's an hour, 2-hour flight, you can get them pretty cheap these days. Like,
yeah.
It's not that hard to get across to London and spend a weekend there. And to be honest with you, like, I think it would be the same if WWE held an event at Wembley Stadium. Like,
yeah, sure.
They sold out Clash at the Castle in Cardiff like really quick, and it's not as big, but it's still a pretty sizable stadium, and WWE have been huge on Sky Sports and now BT Sport for forever. Like, and even fans who don't really watch the product these days, if it's like, oh, there's a show in London and these people that are going to be there and it's going to be a fun time, then cool, people will go and spend money on tickets. And the other thing to say is that tickets are way more reasonably priced than the Money in the Bank tickets. Like, we were looking at doing Money in the Bank, right, at the O2, and like the prices were just absurd. Like you're looking like four figures for decent seats. So again, not a huge surprise that AEW are going to be pushing, I think, close to selling out whatever seats they make available. And that's without a single match or person being announced on the show, right? So good news for wrestling fans.
That's the new thing, isn't it? People are paying to see the brand. Like WWE sells out because you want to go see WWE as opposed to I want to see Roman Reigns or the Bloodline, whoever. It's I have paid to go and see a WWE show. The thing with AEW is people forget it's in London. London is probably the most accessible city in Europe, right? In terms of you've had to Gatwick, Heathrow, Stansted. It's such a big city. It's so logistically this public transport is brilliant. You can fly and come anywhere from the country. But yeah, it just staggers me to how people were dismissing the idea of this many tickets. 60,000 on the grand scheme of things, not a lot of people when wrestling fans are so loyal in general, right?
Right.
If you're I mean, I think it was Ariel Hawani who said these AEW lifers, right, who are coming after me. But there are people who, if I've been following AEW since, like I have since 2019, and they have a show within 3 hours of me, I'm going to go to it. Because in America, right, you drive 3 hours to a show. It's not that indifferent. I know so many people who are flying in or going or making an effort to travel to see the show because it's in the UK.
Yeah, and even friends of mine who haven't really watched AEW that much, but are or have been in the past, say, 5 years, wrestling fans, will watch WrestleMania, will kind of keep up a little bit with the discourse. Yeah, they're in and around London. They see that they can go to Wembley and pay, 50 to 100 quid for an all right ticket. They're probably going to go.
But JJ, it's an event, right? So
that's the thing as well. It's not like this is going to come around like every year. If you're in Boston or if you're in Miami or if you're in, California, Texas, any of these places,
the places I go.
There's going to be a show there. There's going to be a show there in 3 months if you don't make this one, right? This might not happen again for God knows how many years.
I'll give you an
example. I think that
right?
AEW will continue to do decent shows in London, considering the success of this one. But still, it's not like in 3 months' time there's going to be another one rolling around. So.
I'll give you an example. TK's got a house in London. They sponsor Fulham. They own Fulham, sorry. So
that's what, like 35,000. So
no, I'm not on about. No, it's not. It's not the stadium. I'm on about the infrastructure, the logistics, the contacts, how to put on a show, what security to bring in, what certain sponsors. It's the infrastructure around the event as opposed to the actual venue. And this is like, for me, coming from a sponsorship background, right? You need to have all these relevant stakeholders, or you need to know what goes in place to put on a certain event. The event thing is key because the guy who runs the radio in the office, right, always has Capital Extra on. They do the big summertime ball at Wembley. It sold out within a week. 80,000 people at Wembley, I think, in June. These people are so, especially after COVID, Lissy, what you said, people want to make a day of something or a weekend or this is so. Lissy, I don't know whether you're all that familiar with the UK bank holidays, right? People make a big deal of them because it's an excuse to go on the piss for 2 days as opposed to 1, or 3 days as opposed to 2 of the weekend. So August bank holiday is the last weekend before the kids are back to school. And realistically, it's September now. The weather goes to shit. It's England. It's going to be rain. So people go quite big August bank holiday. So I don't think it's a coincidence he has booked this for this slot. And when in my head though, when you factor all these things into consideration, it's not a big deal to sell that many tickets. And yet there are people still on Twitter saying he's bought them all himself. It's a lie. People in our group chat, JJ, there's no way they've sold that many tickets. Like, what is wrong with you? Why is it so?
I'm pretty sure Wembley Stadium it would actually be illegal for Tony Khan to
go buy that many tickets.
And would probably, close to bankrupt him. Well, no, it wouldn't close to bankrupt him, but it would be.
He wouldn't bankrupt him. He's all right for a few months. It wouldn't
bankrupt him, but it would be a pretty big dent. Anyway,
you know how many I suppose wrestling social media accounts like that. People like Lissy, for example, have come across just from our love of whatever memes or posts, whatever. I've had so many people message me saying, "I'm going to be there at Wembley in August. We're going to go for a pint." Like literally 6-7 people. For me, it's disbelief that people kind of underestimate the loyalty and the passion people have for certain products once they get behind it. And yeah, just for me, the last few weeks on social media has just been really weird to watch unfold, and I don't like it. And I know it's quite ironic, right? Considering I spend probably, I spend a lot of time. I post stuff and then just leave. But it's a really weird place at the minute. I don't know. It's like a bit of a backlash to Cody not winning the belt, but yeah, very strange times.
Get over it. Like people, no. The thing is, I understand why people are feeling that way because they're like, oh, Cody came back and it was like a big surprise. And then he he got hurt and he had like that great match before he got hurt. So he deserves he fought with the torn pec, so he deserves it. And like, okay, sure. He came back. He came back at Royal Rumble. He won Royal Rumble. Is it customary for the Royal Rumble winner to win at WrestleMania? Yeah, but have they lost before?
Yeah.
Now they do. So, I mean,
ain't it 96 anymore, brother?
Yeah, like it's not I don't think it's the end of the world, and I think that like it's good for the story too, because like it's when he wins, it's really gonna be like, oh shit, like he really, really, really worked for it. Like what if they don't put the world heavyweight belt on him? Oh my God, they're going to be up in arms.
The thing is, for me, right, like most things in business, it is about peaking at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
They should have, from a momentum standpoint, right? They've been selling all these house shows out for the last 6-8 weeks. And that is, you factor in, these go on sale. People buy them 2-3 months in advance. There's now beginning to see like a drop-off and a slight dip. I think it'll be very hard for him to recover the momentum he had going into WrestleMania. That build was if it was going to be like, if this was 1996, if this was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, won the Rumble.
Nobody's Shawn Michaels.
Nobody's Shawn Michaels. But if you remember, Shawn then beat Owen in the February pay-per-view in your house, whatever. He was booked perfectly and then beats Brett in the main event. Austin, likewise, wins the Royal Rumble. Big 8-man tag we watched in the archives. No Way Out of Texas. Jake's fucked around with him. Gets him one-on-one, wins the belt. And then to have Solo come and just spike, spear, 1, 2, 3. I was watching live going, okay, the refs, they're gonna like reverse this, right? Or something has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just fades to black. That was just, it was anticlimax, right? So I can see the bitterness still lingering. It doesn't mean that you should then attack people who like the other show or the other company. It's just it's weird.
It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. No, but like at the end of the day, just enjoy the wrestling, guys. Like I don't know. I think that I'm at the point in my life where I'm not getting super not involved, but like invested in the storylines as much as like, are we having good matches? Like I think that that's what I'm watching for now. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry because Cody didn't win. Like, okay, yeah, like would it be cool? Sure, but like, do I like Roman more? Yeah, let's move on. Cody, they brought a whole new belt out for you. Don't worry, you'll be all right.
We should talk about once we hit play, because we should hit play. We've been chatting
for
10 minutes before we hit play while we're watching. But we should talk about what happened last night, because Lissy, you shared a tweet with us in the group chat that was John Moxley saying that the John Moxley versus Kenny Omega story is the best story in wrestling right now. But should we tell the guys who are watching and hit play, and then we can chat?
For the love of God, we should.
So again, this is presumably going to be Sting's last year as an in-ring performer.
Yeah.
And we're going to take it all the way back. So when I went off to university 2006,
I love Jack's stories. I just love
years ago.
Stories.
I had like a little computer with like probably about a dozen matches on that I illegally downloaded. Don't at me, WWE. I plug your content. It's fine. And one of them was this, and I would watch this a lot. And this was, Sting versus Ric Flair, the first Clash of the Champions. in direct competition with WrestleMania 4, which was a shit show of a tournament at Trump Plaza, I think. And it was Ric Flair making Sting, as only he can. In 85, 86, 87, 88, you could stick a broom out there with an H.
And Sting thanked him for it. You know, it was a sweet moment.
And Sting said to himself, Ninja boy, you're the greatest ever. I love you. And you know, somebody like Flair, he loves that shit.
Oh,
it's like, that's so sweet of Steve.
He shed a tear. You know he had to.
Nice. There's someone chopping onions around here. So we're going to go back to watch the main event of the first ever Clash of the Champions. Probably my favourite commentary team of the 80s, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, before JR became a pervert on Twitter. So we're going to skip to the main event. If you're watching on the network like us, it's watch.wwe.com/episodes/Clash of the Champions -1. Simple. Skip to the main event when you're at 59.19. Lovely. If you're on the cock, like Lissy, tell them.
Clash of the Champions, Season 1, Episode 1, same time. Boom.
Right. So
59 minutes and 18 seconds.
I'm a second.
Yeah, what he said.
I apologize. I'm going to click play in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Also, JR is so cute. Young JR. Is this? Am I watching the wrong one?
Yeah. Are you at 59.19?
59?
That ain't JR in the ring. That's trucking Tom Miller.
No, it's JR and Tony Schiavone outside.
No,
they're not on camera.
You know what?
So they're showing the judges, right? If it goes to a draw, one of them is Jason Hervey, who was the kid from the Wonder Years, right? And he ends up becoming Eric Bischoff's business partner.
That's amazing.
Hold on one second. Okay. I'm sorry. You guys know, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The Peacock versus the WWE Network, because of the editing, sometimes the seconds are off.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at the judges now.
Oh my God, You're missing out. This is a very good point.
You'll be right.
The Penthouse Pet.
Leave it to Beaver.
The Penthouse.
Wow.
So Paddy Mullen. So this is on a Sunday, right? WrestleMania Day. Nate comes out on TBS with her the day before, going, "This is the Penthouse Pet, and let me tell you what I did with her last night. Ooh la la, woohoo!"
He's not well.
Apparently, she rode Space Mountain.
You need better internet, mate. What's going on here?
It's
kind of track. Let it go. Moment's gone.
It's gone. I tried. I don't even know why I bother trying anymore.
So
wow.
So yeah, that tweet, Lissy, after last night and everything that happened, do you think it is one of the best stories in wrestling right now?
Ooh.
I called this, by the way, in our other chat. Me and Jack, I said, looking forward to Don turning on Kenny and joining the BCC. He's pledged with them, so he can be part of the group, as has Takeshita.
That's kind of what Sid You Can Handle It said. So,
like, it.
Yeah, it's on today's review. I said this yesterday.
No, they said it on the preview yesterday.
No.
Oh, really? You didn't watch it? You didn't listen to it?
No.
Okay.
Go on. Anyway.
It's not that it's good.
It's not right. You're back in the game. You've never watched Catch Race. That's completely lost on you. Look at that, bro. Lissy, the floor's yours.
So, first and foremost, the storyline is probably not the best storyline in wrestling today. I like where it's going, though. I mean, I'm sad to see Dawn turn on Kenny, but because you guys know I love Kenny. Pedo, I don't know where they going
Pero?
with Pedo. Like,
did you go Spanish? Yeah, I know what it means. It's like Gibraltarian. See, Pedo.
But I mean, I think it's obvious. I think it's obviously going to lead to Ibushi being there, which is exciting for everyone, even if you've never seen Ibushi, if you know a little bit of the lore between Kenny. Go on.
Have you seen the promos that were cut by Dawn and Kenny after?
I've seen the Kenny one where he says if I can't trust the Bucks and I can't trust my family, who can I trust?
Yeah.
And that's the first time that he's admitted that he can't trust the Bucks because they screwed him over in his title match with Hangman.
Yep.
But that's never been mentioned.
Nope.
Like, it's not been mentioned that he knows or he's seen it. And I think it was on Being the Elite this week where Dark Order was speaking to Kenny and insinuated that they told him this big secret. And then Nick Jackson was, it might have been Matt. I'm never good at knowing which one's which. One of the Jackson brothers was talking to Kenny and was like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm so sorry that I did this. And then it transpired that it was actually that Kenny was talking about that he'd eaten the last piece of cheesecake or something, not that he'd screwed him out of the title a year ago. But obviously now it's insinuated that Kenny does know. He knows he can't trust the Bucks. He knows he can't trust Don. So who's left? Who's his boy? Who's his golden lover?
Oh, it's
Stop it!
If you listen to Jim Cornette.
Willie, listen, guys.
What?
Stop.
No, that's what their name is. They're called the Golden Lovers.
No, I didn't.
No.
I'm not gonna entertain this.
What are you on about?
Because I know where you're going with this.
I don't think they're gay lovers. I think they're tag team partners. Take your mind out of the gutter, Elisandra.
No, because first of all, stop calling me that on air. Because you've said this before, so I want to curtail it right here.
What have I said?
I'm not going to repeat it. Leave it alone.
You said that there were suggestions that there was something there. Anyway,
JJ, there is no chance you could even find that on tape if you look through our many hours of footage. I'm safe.
You've edited out?
No,
anyway,
it's just too much footage.
So I know it's true. Apart from that, the new belt, I would love to see them get away from that big WWE belt style that they've been having the last 10 years or so. Great for marketing, just in not the best looking belt. And I think we're also a little bit very impartial because we grew up on the beautiful Winged Eagle belt, which is probably the best looking belt ever. And then the big gold belt, which is like the supreme belt. You can't have two better looking belts than those. So we are impartial to that look, but we have to remain open and be like, there's times are changing. And I think that's why they got toward the big WWE belt, but I don't love the design of the new belt, but I think it can grow on them.
So there are certain things that as wrestling fans, we just have to accept that might hinder our enjoyment, but at the end of the day, it's going to make more money for these companies, so they're going to do it. The reason Raw is 3 hours long and borderline unwatchable for the whole thing is because it makes them more money and advertising money. The reason that they're going to splash the WWE logo is because when they sell replicas and people are walking around with them, and especially when famous people have them, they get their logo out everywhere, and that's why every belt is going to have that. Right? They have these there was, I don't know American sports, but I think there was an American football parade where someone had clinging onto their WWE Championship belt the whole way through, and it was amazing.
Patrick Mahomes.
There you go, Patrick Mahomes. Amazing free advertising for them, right? So fine.
Yeah, it's free. It's like they give it, and it's not just football. It's every basketball team that wins, every baseball team, every hockey team. Like everyone gets one, and it immediately attaches.
You get a belt. You get a belt.
You get a belt. You get a belt. You get a belt. Right.
But there's two things, right? You can still appreciate why they do it from a market and a branding perspective. You can also appreciate the belt sucks ass.
That's fun.
It's fine. Both things are right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
there's certain things we have to accept.
The belt sucks.
Might not be good. We might not enjoy, but it's just the thing. We understand why it's a thing. It's just always going to be a thing.
But the thing is, this is again social media. People can't understand both sides.
Yeah.
Again, it's clever from, as you pointed out. to see a guy who has 7, like Aaron Rodgers would always do that celebration, right?
Yes.
So they sent him the WWE title. He sticks on his social media, right? You've got this many impressions, great brand opportunity. The belt still looks shit.
But see, the thing is,
it's a good marketing tactic. So
can I interject for a moment? Because like, just to compare, like when you see a boxing belt, you don't know what the hell, you don't know which belt it is, you don't know what weight class, you don't know, like, it doesn't matter. You just see it, it's there, you don't know what it stands for. When you see that WWE belt, like you're like, you don't even have to know, you're like, oh shit, that's a WWE belt. What's he doing with that? So it does serve that purpose, even if it's not as nice and gold and beautiful and stuff like that. It is more modern, and you have to remember that like WWE is like a global brand, and they need to have that right in your face to show you.
Of course, 100%.
It's a difference between, again, AEW go down the show not tell. WWE is very much screaming at them loud and clear. But yeah, it's a tricky one, because I think if you're a certain age or from a certain era, it's different. Like the WWE title that Cena won in 2005, he got the then spinner belt.
That belt was so ugly.
But that's 18. That was 18 years ago. The WWE title has basically been a big piece of gold with WWE on the front.
Yeah.
If you are under the age of, say, 20, you will have no recollection of the Classic Eagle Attitude Era belt or the Winged Eagle. So it will make no difference to you whatsoever, because you have nothing to compare it to. We're all in our 30s now, Christ. And we've grown up
Not
with
me, though. Y'all be safe.
I don't know what she said, but that sounds clever. That Winged Eagle belt is just a thing of beauty. It's Brett's belt. I always think of the Triple H as the guy with the Classic Eagle belt. But if you are 16 years old, you probably think of, I don't know, Cena, Orton. I'm trying to think 16 years, if you're 16, 8 years ago. 2015. I don't even know what happened.
Rey Mysterio.
What happened?
To be fair, they'll probably remember, like they will probably remember the big gold belt, because it's been knocking around on and off since Triple H got it, right?
You've just given it one night on Raw, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
WWE, when you think about the big gold belt, that was Triple H's belt.
Yeah.
Reign of Terror, baby.
It really was.
We're talking about the design of the belt, but the more important thing is it's a fucking stupid idea for them to have even introduced it in the first place.
You've backed the winner anyway, JJ. You're fine.
I know. And they've gone, Triple H literally came out and was like, Roman Reigns, he's not going to be around much anymore, he doesn't really fight that often, so no one can beat him, so we're going to give him another belt. No one can beat him in a show that you write. Let someone else beat him. I mean, if only they'd have had a credible challenger at the biggest show of the year just a few weeks before, for someone who is there every single week, can put on banger matches, and then they could have built stories from. But no. And the other thing is, it would have made more sense for Brock to be going after Cody straight away, because Brock cannot fight for the title whilst Roman Reigns is champion. Shut up, both of you. Brock can't fight for the title whilst Roman Reigns is champion. Cody wins it at WrestleMania, then Brock comes out the next day and smashes him, because now he can fight for the title and he wants his shot again. That would have made sense. Currently, there's no fucking reason.
It's a great angle as well.
There's absolutely no reason why Brock would be attacking Cody Rhodes like he is right now. I think that this was their plan for Cody post winning at WrestleMania. Then they changed their mind and give it to Roman, and they were like, "What do we do with Cody? Oh, we've got this written. Let's just do that." Even though it doesn't make any sense. Anyway,
JJ, they haven't explained why Brock attacked Cody.
They don't have to.
There's been no reason given. Like,
that's what I said.
No, but I'm saying it is mental to me that there is no explanation. They just move on, and then they've carried on with this for another 4 weeks.
They've done it. They had the match at Backlash, and then the next night on Raw, he comes out and attacks him again to get him out of that championship.
They sacrificed. They even sacrificed how over Sami Zayn was. Right, in Montreal, because you had Cody the month after, and you fucked both.
Yeah,
it's basically right. You're trying to like see two women at the same time. And you ended up with neither. They both found out and both paid
They
you
had
off.
2 huge babyface opportunities to finally take the belt off Roman. They didn't do either, and I just introduced a third, like a third belt because the undisputed champion is 2 undisputed and they can't go to him. I mean, what is this belt? Like, it's not gonna have any prestige, is it? It's so annoying. Go on, Lissy, you go.
The thing is, no, you like now in my mind, and maybe this is because like this is the way that they want to portray it. So I've just kind of like, okay, fine, that's what it is. The undisputed is those 2 belts together. So those 2 belts, I feel like this separate world title has solidified the fact that those 2 belts are staying together, whatever that looks like. And then they also, I do think that from a timing perspective, I think that yes, it would have been great to have Cody win and then Brock come out on Monday and just, then take it from there. But at the same time, because of the draft and the brand split, we've kind of been in a place in the last couple of years where people have just moved fluidly from show to show and not really like been aligned to Raw, SmackDown, whatever, right?
Horseman guys from Raw, put them up. Sorry,
but at the same time, like when you think about trying to make sure that people get enough time in front of the camera and, people's schedules now that we're back in a post-COVID world and we want to make sure that people have like balance in their life and their schedule, but also like they're going to have the Raw superstars running shows during the week and the SmackDown superstars running shows during the week for their health shows and stuff like that. So I think just to give better organization, that really helps to have the 2 brands. And then that realistically, if Roman isn't going to be around as much, he's not going to be on both shows every week. He's already not been on Raw, period, for the most part, right? So you need to have a title on Raw. So I understand everything you guys are saying, but I think logistically, it does also make sense to have a belt there.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with anything that you're saying, but my point is they've roped themselves into this situation.
Oh, absolutely.
They could have just not. They could have had another way to just split apart the 2 titles. They could have done.
No, they can't, because then it's gonna diminish Roman. They can't do that.
They could. They could.
So you just create another belt and go, yeah, that's just the same. Like,
and then that just diminishes that belt, like because no one can possibly beat Roman, so we just have to give another belt to everyone else to play with because no one can take the ball off this guy.
I think the way that they positioned it was fine. That they said Roman is going to be on whatever show and he stays with his belts, and that's it.
Y'all are missing a clinic right here, by the way.
I'm sorry. Let's watch wrestling.
Flair has just been phenomenal.
The other thing is as well, they were like, this is a Raw title for Raw superstars. We've just done the brand split. It's going to be a hard brand split. We're not going to have people moving back and forth. Raw guys stay on Raw. SmackDown guys stay on SmackDown. This is a Raw title because the other 2 belts, the now undisputed champion, he's over on SmackDown. So this is for Raw people. So we're going to get a bunch of you from Raw and a bunch of you from SmackDown, and you're both going to compete for this new Raw title. What?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Also, Paul Heyman said Roman was going to win it anyway. Then he wasn't even entered.
Yeah.
If he's got that much stroke, right, and he wants to be the undisputed title, again, they're booking like 3 ways, right? He can be involved in a 3-way. He doesn't involve in the pin, and he still keeps his heat. None of it makes any sense.
Yeah, that part I can't defend because it doesn't make any sense. What was the point?
Frustrating. We all spend time watching these shows, and it's like, just like if you watch a TV show, like any other random drama or TV show, you'd be like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no continuity. They've said one thing, they're doing another thing. They're writing completely nonsensical stories. They've added this thing. You just be like, I'm just going to stop watching. Like, you want to be rewarded for your investment and the amount of time that you spend watching something, it's frustrating. And I don't even spend a lot of time watching WWE week to week anymore because of this.
Wow.
So there you go.
Lissy does. She's got the that Stanford.
It's hotline. A different thing, right? Because in the US, right, you can just flick it on at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening.
This time next year.
And it's there. If I want to watch Raw, I'm either up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning watching it, or I need to find 3 hours the next day to watch it. If it was on at 7 o'clock in the evening on my TV, then maybe it would be on a Monday night. But it's not how you can watch it in Europe. So
from Orlando, Florida, Carmelo, hey.
Stop.
Goes away.
You are not well. You're just out of control.
I'm doing it, and then I'm doing. That was me. I've never heard you. I really want to hear you announce.
I plug the show every week. Like, you don't watch my stuff on CCW Alive.
Darling, I plug you better than the company does.
No, I'm just saying, like, we publish a show every week and then I'm on.
Oh, you post the show?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't watch wrestling. You know me.
Oh, you know. Jack has 10 wrestling pages, a podcast, and sells t-shirts, but I don't watch wrestling.
I'm finding this quite funny because I get shit from Jack for not really talking very much on the shows most of the time. I just sit here quietly and throw in a jibe here and there. Now me and Lissy have been having, long
good debate,
like informed discussions. Jack's just losing his mind having to sit over there quietly. He started doing his own thing. He's just like, I'm just going to start announcing Carmelo Hayes in the style of Lissy Almeida.
He can't. He can't. That's the thing. Because, Jack, when was the last time you watched a full episode in its entirety of Raw? Without skipping. Of Raw or SmackDown.
You could say Dynamite as well, because he definitely skips big chunks of Dynamite.
Or Dynamite.
I used to watch... I'm trying to think, when I lived in my old flat, right? So we moved into Jib in January 2021. And we lived in that flat for 15 months. I would watch full episodes of Dynamite. In terms of like Raw, I've not watched a full Raw or SmackDown since 2007 or 2006-7.
Wow.
What is there? Why would you watch a full episode of that show?
I don't think I've watched a full episode since around 2018, 19, I would guess.
When I got back into wrestling around 2006-7, I was obsessed with it again. And I would be in the library at university watching full episodes of SmackDown on like a dodgy streaming site the morning after. I remember it was Juice and Domino's tag team champions. There was a big feud between Matt Hardy and Mr. Kennedy. Fucking Matt Hardy. Don't get me started. I think Batista was world champion. Edge was there, Undertaker.
What a time!
Benoit was there. It was a good show. It was a good show.
I remember watching live when Shane O'Mac came back and going in and chatting to Jack about it in the office the next day. And yeah, I was watching live then, so it was around that era. But it was only because I used to work a schedule where sometimes I would have shifts that started at 4 p.m. and finished at midnight, right? So I could justify staying up until 4 o'clock watching Raw and then
you had no kids to change you as well.
Yeah, I had no kids, whatever. Like, so
big caveat.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you kind of 2021 wasn't that long ago, so you're still kind of in the loop. And I think Jack, you followed AEW a lot more than you do WWE. Like you skip through half of the episode of Dynamite and watch the thing. You skip through any Bucks content, and
I watched a lot of Dynamite last night's episodes. The thing is, right, I find if it starts off well, I'm gonna stick with it. Last night's
episode was world class.
I found it easily the best episode of the year. And
that's what Tony said.
Did he? All right, I've not been on Twitter all day. But it started a good match to start with. Okay, then there's good angles, good promos, and everything flowed really well. Shout out to your boy Will Washington, right? It's formatting the shows. Probably still cutie, still. But it was like match, promo.
To be fair, Will Washington did tweet. He was like, "I've been here 2 weeks, guys. Trust me, this is not me. The props go to the people who've been here and working hard for a lot longer than I have." So yeah,
knee drops world class. But what I want from a wrestling show, I want good matches. I don't like stupid interference, fucked finishes. Right, the two in the last few weeks, like the Dax Howard one against Jeff Jarrett, the match was awful. The finish was even worse. Then the Derby one against Sammy was horrendous. And from that, it's like, I don't want to watch next week. It's not even due to the result of the match. I'm not bothered by the result of a wrestling match. It's how you get to that. And it's, as a wrestling fan, right, we're of a certain age. You're smart enough to the business. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't put something so carny and so stupid. And if when those things happen, which you kind of expect with WWE, because it's how they operate, it's fine. But with AEW, it's like we expect better. And when they don't, it's.
And it goes back to what I said before, like you want to be rewarded for your investment in the show and the time that you spend watching it, right? You don't want to feel like sitting there for 2 hours is a chore. Like there are times when I would wake up on a Thursday morning and be like, sick, I can put Dynamite on now, right? Like, and recently, before this week, it's not really been like that for a little while. Last night's show was very, very good. I'm very excited. I love seeing Miro back on my screen. Thunder Rosa, I'm not that fussed about personally. That's partly because they completely botched her just having a sneezing fit. I think
I was trying to mute before I sneezed.
I was like, "Wow, Thunder Rosa did that to you."
I think they completely botched their title run, and from a personal standpoint, not that I like to buy too much into this. But bad stories come out about her. Anyway, wasn't that fussed about that, but amazing.
What's the tea?
Doesn't matter. There's no point going into it because it's all rumors and speculation. I don't know anything. I'm not an insider, so I don't want to slate someone who might be completely innocent. But yeah, I wasn't that fussed about Thunder Rosa, but excited to see Miro back. Excited to see where they go with him.
We'll talk about it off air, right?
It's just stuff that has been said in the past, like about her backstage and not getting along with people and stuff like that. It's nothing new. There's no new news.
Nothing. No new news.
The real tea is filled by Lissy after the show, but that's a different story.
What did I tell you last time? What did I tell you last time? I'm gonna fuck you up one of these days. Just wait till I see you. You are out of control, okay? You must be stopped.
Bored. You can tell. I'm just trying to stir the pot.
My God. No, I will say though.
Opener last night. Claudio and Phoenix was phenomenal.
Great match. Claudio's phenomenal. Yeah.
I went to AEW 2 weeks ago when they were here in Sunrise.
Shana Ariel. Congratulations, brother. Get that airtime.
Oh my God, yeah. Ariel was on. He faced Wardlow. That was as his friend, even knowing wrestling, it's we know what to expect, but it's like watching your friend take 5 power bombs from Wardlow. I'm like, is he okay?
Were AEW happy with his performance? Were they pleased with him?
I don't work there. How would I know that?
Ariel's your boy.
You see him afterwards, and he might have got feedback. Yeah.
I think he did well.
That's what I mean, right? You want these guys. A friend of yours, a friend of ours.
Yeah.
So you want him to think they might bring him in, and then that's you've got a foot in the door, right?
Yeah, and actually, like on another cool thing that he actually did that night, which was pretty cool, was he did the Spanish commentary for ROH, which and it was just such a long night, but I was like so happy for him because I'm like, wow, like you're just doing all this cool stuff in one evening. But I mean, it's the format is pretty much.
We've lost Lissy.
As Lissy froze, I'm gonna say it's just my computer.
Yeah. Unflatteringly. Oh dear. We've lost Jack as well, but he's just faking it. Doing a good job of it. But...
I was quite impressed by myself, yeah. do we boot Lissy or?
You're in control. I'm sure she'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Am I back, guys?
Yep.
You are back.
Are we back? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, that was very rare. I never lose service like that. Yeah. And you guys were frozen on mine too in like the ugliest poses. But anyway, what were we saying? No, like it was just like really cool. It's really cool to, see somebody that like I'm close with be able to like have those opportunities. And like I think that was like one of the last times that they were like filming for like Dark and Elevation, because as we know, they're moving away from that. But it's a long night of wrestling. But what I liked though is that like Tony came out and he acknowledges that it's a long night of wrestling. He's like, I know this is a late night town. I'm like, no, it's not. But no, I mean it was cool. It is we are a late night, crowd, but it's a lot of wrestling to watch. But overall, always a good time. It's good, and I'm even more excited to see like our show that we're going to in August, because I'm like, I haven't been to AEW in a long time too. Yeah.
I haven't been to a wrestling show since whenever TNA did the last UK tour, I think 2007, 2008. I haven't been to a wrestling show for at least 15 years.
Oh my!
I've been to one in my life. So Jack, you're going to is it Progress show as well on the Saturday?
Apparently, I'm from Raw. No idea.
There's more stuff.
I've paid Rafa, so
probably.
My guy Rafa.
Rafa's got them front row tickets. So me and you, we'll have to find some bars to hang out in.
Oh, don't worry. Don't you worry. What show is this?
Rev Pro.
Rev Pro.
No, I don't know. I have no idea about the British.
What's it called? I'll look them up right now.
Progress, I think. Is Progress the one full of nonsense? Can I say that on air?
Rev Pro UK.
Rev Pro, I think, is the one where Will Ospreay's the champion.
Oh, okay. Is it Progress and Defy, a historic show? Saturday, August 26th.
Yeah. 26th. Oh, okay.
At the Electric Ballroom.
That's the show you're going to, Jack?
Yeah, me and Will Ospreay are going for pints that night.
So that's in Camden. Are you actually, or is this?
Maybe.
I mean, it could be genuine that he's like messaging.
He loves the Flair stuff. Me and him were messaging during lockdown. Yeah.
That's in Camden, which is not far from where I'm staying. So in theory, let's see. I don't know how well you know Camden, or if it's too low brow for you. But we could.
You know who I am?
It's her town.
I figured you'd be on the west side, over in Chelsea and Fulham.
On the west side, John Jacobs. This isn't like 1995. What's going on?
I can leave Mayfair for a few hours.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, we could hang out in Camden and find something to do, and then meet those guys after the show, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do it.
JJ, my mate came back to me as well yesterday saying he can get 2 tickets for the Open, as you would call it, Lissy, the British Open golf in Liverpool. Saturday, Sunday, I think 22, 23. That week it's the Ashes Test. So we're going to go and do England, Australia at Old Trafford on the Friday. This is the most English-like trip ever, right? Cricket.
You're going?
I'm waiting for the permission slip to be signed.
So you're going to be spending a week back in the UK? What, like you're going to be spending like 9 days back in the UK?
3 days. 4 days.
I'm confused. So you're going for a weekend, then you're going back the next weekend?
No, I'm saying so in July.
Sorry, I thought it was August. I thought
I was so confused.
I thought it was like the weekend
I'm saying
before.
I'm doing the wrestling in August, and then I might be pushing it a bit. I said to Lorraine, look, who knows? This time next year, there might be if she gets her way, there'll be another second George that city.
Yeah, I've got I've got
these chances while I can.
There's a poker tournament in Malaga that I've said to Nicole that I want to go to, and that's in September. So it's like I'm taking a weekend away in August and then another weekend away in September. But
how many of these can you get away with? Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like I said to her today, like you don't know. Like there's no point like keeping score. Like she's got a week in the UK next week. She's got a week in Ghana. And I said, like, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 15 years. You know, we're going to be in this situation. These events, like, don't come around every week or something. And, you know, you never know. You might get a job where you need to be in some country for 3 months and I've got to look after the kids, you know. So you've just got to take these things as they come. It's tough at the time, but, you know, it's only going to get easier.
Yeah, my mate was like, in his head, like, in your lifetime, you get 10 World Cups. And he said, like, and I've already had 9 of them. So now... What? He counts his years on this planet in terms of World Cups.
How old is this person?
He's 36.
39. Well, yeah.
There's a World Cup every 4 years.
Why do you only get
Yeah.
10? Like, people only live till 40 in his world.
No, he said I get 20 World Cups in my life.
Oh, okay.
I've had
I'm
9 of them.
sorry. I
You said
misheard
10.
you.
You said 10.
Oh, sorry. He said
Yeah,
I've had 9
I'm
of
like,
them.
is he dying?
No, I've had 9 of them. He said the ones after 70 don't count. So realistically, I've only got 8 left. So these are the years now when I've got it. He said, and him and his missus don't have kids. He has a mortgage. He said, like, these are the times now when I'm still fit, relatively fit and able. He's like 25 stone. He's a big lad. He's the guy who was with me last August, Lissy, when we're going to go meet you. So he's like, we've got to do this while we can, right? Because soon enough, I think he gets married next year. So then, natural, like, kids come after.
You inside, buddy.
It's the thing, like, as well, like, people have kids that, between 25 and 35, say, on average, I guess. You can't just put your life on hold until, 45, 55, whatever it is. Like, you've still got to carry on, enjoying yourself. Obviously, when they're super little, you've got to live.
Can't say we didn't live life.
And in my head, JJ, but if I did nothing with the boy or at home, it's very hard to, like, justify going away for a few days. If you're at home and trying to do as much as you possibly can, 2 or 3 days every now and again, it's not that bad. It's
probably,
like
to be fair, if you did nothing, then you wouldn't be missed when you went away anyway. So they'd be like, whatever, it's fine. Not doing anything here.
You should set the bar really low so you wouldn't be missed, right?
I think put it this way though, like as a parent, right? Or I mean, it's like when you have a job, right? You have to take your holidays from work because you need to recharge and be able to come back and continue to work. So like same thing as a parent, like I think it's important for people to take like a night off from their kids or a weekend away or whatever, because it's like it makes you miss them, like you said, John, but also like you kind of like come back with like new energy to be like, okay, fine. When I get back, we're gonna go here, we're gonna do there, we're gonna, you look forward to stuff like that, and it just gives you time to recharge your adult battery too. Like just because you have kids doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your life. Like I think that that's such like a misconception.
Yeah, when I got back from when I was in the UK 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I got in the door by 11:30 Sunday morning after being up about 5:30 for a 7 a.m. flight. And as soon as I walked in the door, the boy woke up. This is 11:30, and I went, "That's on you now, buddy."
It's the thing,
okay,
like,
come on, let's go to the park.
So I went to a stag do in Portugal, which was like a 4-hour drive away, right? And they were all flying back on the Monday morning. So I said to Nicole, right, I would drive back on the Sunday evening, and then the Monday, like, I can take the kids all day, you can have a break, whatever. So I left, and I got stuck on the motorway for like 2 hours because there was a crash. So a 4-hour drive became like a 6-hour drive, and then the border was like rammed. It took another half an hour to get through the border, even at midnight. So I was driving from like, and as well because Portugal's now behind, so I lose an hour as soon as I drive over that border, right? So I think I left at like 5 p.m. and I didn't get home until gone midnight. And then the next day, kids were up, and I spent the whole day with them, like taking them out and stuff, like, so. Yeah, you get it. It's tough, and the same like when we go to this wrestling show in the UK, the wrestling show's on the Sunday night, and then it's a bank holiday Monday. I'm getting the flight that leaves at 5 to 7 in the morning, so that I can help out with the kids on Monday. So I'm gonna be knackered afterwards, but you
got the knees up.
You can't take the piss.
It's just what you do.
It's what you do. JJ, give
not
us
what I do, but y'all be safe.
Do you want that to become a t-shirt?
No, it's actually, I mean, that's like such an old saying. I've just been saying it a lot this week. You guys know how I am. I get these little phrases that I say and I kill them, and then it's going to be something new next week.
Run them into the ground.
Yes, sir.
JJ, give us a time check.
We are at 1 minute 39 and 345 seconds. That's on the WWE Network. You might need a time check from Peacock.
I would like to announce that we have not watched 1 minute of this wrestling. We are embarrassing.
I'm only on one screen.
Ric Flair is in the abdominal stretch and is being asked by Tommy.
I was watching Sting power up and reverse the pressure on the figure four leg lock.
Yeah.
What a moment.
This is Pete Flair in earlier. It's just so good. I
Oh,
think
he's missed the elbow
I think
drop.
this is my famous shirt. I think this is from early '88. I'm trying to work out. I don't know where it's from. Basically, I found it on Pinterest, and some whiz kid in Indonesia made it into a shirt for me. I've sold
Love
about
that.
200 of them. It's brilliant. And but I don't know when it's from because Flair has always had pretty much the same physique, the same hair. He had it for about 10 years.
He did have a ponytail at one point. Please don't forget.
Ponytail Nature is just an incredible time period.
Like what?
April
And he
Flair,
did have a shortcut at one point in WCW, like a little spiky.
that was 2001. Yeah, when he would wrestle in trousers and like a floral shirt. Very weird. I mean, I posted something earlier about WCW in 2000 where there was a botched bloodbath attempt on Kevin Nash, and Big Sexy
What a
just like
mess.
looked at it going, "The fuck is that?"
What a mess.
Just didn't
He
sell
was
it
so
at all.
unbothered.
Just
Kevin's the
don't
kind that
sell
wouldn't
it,
know.
brother.
Like he's not gonna sell like caught him a little bit, and he's gonna
So
be riding
cool.
around in it. Like.
So smooth.
He's so cool. The coolest.
Just didn't get in the figure four on nowhere.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes,
Jay
he
has
is,
got
brother.
You not seen this
Jay
match,
has
Jack?
got
You don't know what
bananas.
happened.
I used to watch this all the time. I haven't watched it in a long, long time.
At least a year.
Yeah.
It's very rare for me that I ever go back and rewatch a match.
I sat
Same.
down on 4 days ago. What day is it? Thursday. So Monday was the anniversary of the last of the trilogy of Flair and Steamboat, and I did watch that in the entirety. And that match is an unbelievable masterpiece.
Most people on their calendar have like birthdays, anniversaries. Jack's just got trilogy, Steamboat, Flair. It's like, let's put it on, guys.
I don't like that. I don't like the 2 out of 3 falls match, which was at the I think the fourth Clash. That was at the Superdome in New Orleans, and they only sold 2,000 tickets. So it's a really strange atmosphere. They keep going back to Patty Mullion like she's a big deal. Like she's
She's
just a porn star. Like, calm down, lads.
Whoa.
Sex worker. Sorry.
Whoa. Come on, man. Come on.
What do you mean, just? That's a lot of work.
Right. Put some respect on her name.
Nobody does more for sex workers on social media than Jack Miller. Let me just put that out there.
You know what's so funny?
I've earned a lot of girls a lot of money.
You've tried to have some sex workers on this show.
Yeah.
Much to
your chagrin.
Not my chagrin. I don't care. I don't
even care. Not even my car.
I said, if they want to show up, come. But they don't show up.
If they come, or when they show up, they come, baby. Woo!
Sex workers never come.
That's what he said.
That's what we're learning.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. Unreliable. To be fair, the guy who does those designs, I helped him with his rebrand, Main Event Rich. He was on another, I think some nostalgia podcast last week, and he messaged me into it. So when do I get to come on your podcast? I'm like, yeah, we don't really do outsiders. We flirted with it before, and it just hasn't gone very well. No offense, pal.
Just pushed down Flair.
That's Tommy Young.
Tommy Young. He's not taking no shit.
So Flair would say to him, like, he knew it would get heat. So Flair would just say to Tommy Young, push me. What? I'm not pushing you. Push me. And the crowd would go bananas. Flair's timing was unreal. Sting is jacked here, by the way. Look at that tan as well.
I find it weird that they're just like sitting down nicely on the front row. They're not right up to the barrier like rabid fans going crazy. They're just having a nice sit down.
It's funny because I think at that time people were a lot more civil, and especially in regard to the fact that they didn't know that this was staged. So maybe there was like that level of
you're gonna
fear.
Get punched in the face kind of thing.
Yeah, like that was probably what it was. It's like, oh, I gotta back up.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It is real. It is. Intermission.
5 minutes left. Hence,
So that's trucking Tom Miller, JJ.
who? The announcer.
The announcer, yeah. He was quite famous in Greensboro he did the first Starrcade there in '83. It's really sad that I know.
Why was he trucking?
I don't know. Now that you mention it.
You don't know.
Tony Schiavone.
24 episodes in, and I finally found something Jack doesn't know about 1980s wrestling. Buzzing.
Why was he trucking? It sounds like a
Who
very
are you?
American term, right? Trucking Tom.
It's
From
like
the Carolinas. It sounds like
it's
a very
crazy.
hillbilly.
Like, honestly, your encyclopedic knowledge of, like, you know, if
Everything.
I say, you know, 1987 April, who was the champion? What was the big show? Like, you'd be like, oh yeah, Ric Flair did this, and he fought this guy,
Flair
and
was
he'd
the
just
world
come off the
champion.
back of a feud. Like,
And Dusty.
I think
Flair was the world champion. He was in a feud with not Ronnie Garvin, his brother Jimmy Garvin. That was when Ric Flair debuted the Space Mountainettes. He brought out 10 girls on TV with T-shirts saying, "I want to ride Space Mountain." Ha! Woo!
I think aside from Will Washington, your wrestling knowledge is some of the most encyclopedic that I've come across.
So do you think I've got an undercurrent of jealousy towards Will Washington? Is there a hostility that subconsciously
it's a rivalry.
That's right. I mean, it's like we already know from this show that you would love to understand black culture a little bit more, but you're just too white. And you know, Will is a beautiful black man. Is obviously in the culture. He not only knows what Wale Mania is, he's been to Wale Mania.
Will, I got you, brother. Me and Will like that. Yeah.
He's really more of a scissoring kind of guy.
Oh, right. Oh. Yeah. So, Will, teach me. Educate me, brother.
Listen, the first thing you have to do is support all the brothers. Okay, Jack? That's the first thing.
If Cody's taught me anything, like, I mean, Cody has solved racism already. We know that. But not hearing Gibraltar's. Yeah, I mean, do you know? By the way, his sister gets tagged in all these memes, and she gets really annoyed about it. Like, there's pictures like Cody hanging out with Martin Luther King in '69 and stuff, and.
I can't go on.
You know, it's still mental to me that 2 years ago he was involved in a race. Was it a race angle against a black guy when he was sticking up for all creeds and all colours? Yeah. Like somebody.
It wasn't a race angle. It was if anything, it was US versus UK. He made it a race angle.
That's what I mean. He made it a race angle against a black guy. It just made no sense. Somebody produced a thread on it on Twitter in the week, and I can't believe that happened. And Cody wanted to be the babyface.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a thing when a white guy gets with a black girl, and I can say this because I'm a white guy.
You are allowed.
Yeah. But I don't know if there's a thing. I don't know if there's a thing in their minds where they go, "There's certain things I can say now because you know I'm part of this group." Actually, you're not, and there's still certain things you definitely cannot say.
Your white privilege has got a few more bars to it.
So, yes, as the black girl who has dated white guys, I do think that there's been some times when I'm like, that's still not for you. Like, you gotta tone it down a little bit. So I think you're right. I think that may have been one of those instances where he, he thought it rubbed off, but it didn't.
It's like they think that they're maybe immune to criticism because you can't criticize me. I'm dating a black girl. Yeah. I'm dating a black girl. So there's obviously I couldn't possibly be racist, you know, which also isn't true. You can still date a black girl and be racist. FYI.
Absolutely.
I can't be misogynistic. I love my mom. Yeah.
Mm. Absolutely. It's very well documented.
Yeah.
How long is left on the time here?
20 seconds. I don't know who keeps choosing these long matches.
Well, if someone else would help me out here, then you know what I mean.
It's your show.
That's gonna forever haunt me, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be my Cody Anthony Go-Go moment. What is wrong with this?
Oh, you know it, baby.
Baby. fuck's sake.
Did he? I didn't see it because you took over the screen and then you started buffering. Did he like visibly tap like a few seconds later, or no? Okay.
Flair tapped like literally 2 seconds after the bell, which is what he would do when he'd wrestle these 60-minute time limit draws when he goes to the territories. Whether it be, he sold out Puerto Rico against Carlito's daddy, Carlos, hundreds of times in the 80s. And the local babyface would have him beat. Flair would tap after the bell or narrowly escape with the belt and do a runner, and everyone feels like they grieve. But next time that babyface is going to get him. See that? No interference from JJ. Didn't need to. No interference from JJ. Stayed in the cage.
Oh, yeah.
WWE has warped your mind for wrestling.
I'm just saying what happens. I'm not saying what I necessarily expected to happen. So what's the point of the judges if it's just a draw? Because in boxing, if there's a draw, well, if it is not a clear winner, then there's decision, right?
It goes to the judges now.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
What?
Trucking Tom.
There's a lot happening here.
Disgrace.
So anyway, that was the show.
We're still going on here.
Oh, is this? Are we still watching it? Oh.
Yeah, I want to see what the judges decide.
Sorry.
Paddy Mully's vote for Ric Flair. She's riding him all weekend. Of course she goes for the
Can I tell you something? This is the second time in a row that I've done that. Remember last time?
Look at her.
Jack was still watching.
She gives a little wink to the niche. Like, I'll get you back, sugar. Sort me out later.
The draw. JJ is buzzing.
So 1-1-1, the winner, and still.
But there was 5 judges.
3.
There's 5 people at the desk.
Okay, 2 of them weren't judges. Put them up.
Fair enough.
I think this could be from where the shirt's from.
He is bleeding, and he was bleeding on the shirt, right?
Yeah, I think this is it.
Oh, wow. You feel good?
Finally found it.
I don't like that end screen wearing Ric Flair. JR standing in profile in that tux.
Oh, yeah.
And Bob, whoever's body. Saying Tony looks better now than he did 30 years ago.
Tony looks better now than he did 35 years ago.
Sorry.
Well,
some men just age well.
The porn star stash is gone.
Do you know why that went? He went. This is March 1988. He went to the WWF in January 89. First thing Vince said, that fucking mustache is horrible. If you want to get a job here, that stash has got to go, pal. Looks
and look at him and look at him now. Look at him now.
Yeah.
With his terrible mustache. Vince, not Tony.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
No, that actually is the worst mustache in the history of mustaches.
I put Hitler first, Vince second.
Whoa!
Close. I mean, it's close.
6 and 2 threes. Mike Rotundo.
Are we talking about terrible people in world history or mustaches? It's
just
the same.
mustaches.
It's the same. It doesn't make a difference. Same either way.
Just mustaches for now, brother.
Okay.
The Greensboro Coliseum. What a show.
This is
we'll see you at the
an incredibly 80s credits, but fine.
Super 80s.
Good. So that's it. So next time we won't be watching anything from the 80s.
Why?
Because the last 2 shows have been the 80s. We've got to mix it up, you know.
Right, Judge, let me tell you how this works, right?
We have a page on
Facebook called NWA Wrestling Memories.
Oh, we do?
We do. Collective we. If something gets posted on there, it does big numbers.
Then you should post the shows on there then, because
I've got a Facebook ban at the minute, darling. It lasts a month, so
can't believe it.
John, were you aware of this? This page?
No, you've
This
not
page
mentioned
that
it.
we contribute to, apparently.
I know I'm up to 500,000 on Instagram now. Tremendous.
Big. How's TikTok?
You see how quickly it went from we to I, John?
If you guys want to put, I actually had to delete your story on whatever day it was and replace it with a few tags. Got a tag, Lissy. Got to tag the
Story are
brothers
you
in.
talking about?
You shared something, I think the photos from the last show you were doing. But you
From my show?
Yeah, but you didn't add the tags in. You got to tag, get everyone involved so they
You're
repost
talking
it.
on Mainly Wrestling Story on Instagram.
Yeah.
I posted from what show on Mainly Wrestling Story? I barely post on Mainly Wrestling.
I don't know. You shared something to the story, and I just deleted it and reput. Whoever, there's a hot photographer there who does good photos. Sneezy, Sneezy, something called Sneezy.
Oh, did I? I don't think I did that.
You did
on our page.
You did.
How do you know it was her, not me?
I'm not
I
well.
mean, it wasn't me, but
you guess you wouldn't do that.
Okay, keep going.
If I see something, then I do something. But I got notifications turned off Instagram now because the amount of like notifications from that Mainly Wrestling page is off the chart.
I've notifications for everything. It just goes berserk. Yeah. That photo of Stephanie, right, with the when when a white girl says gracias in a Mexican restaurant. That's got like 4,000 likes. So I'm guessing it happens quite a lot.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, head to Instagram, go to Mainly Wrestling, and check out the photo. Give it a like if you like it.
JJ's just here. He's picking up the slack.
Plug away, brother.
And if you're still watching this show, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what we should watch next time so that Jack doesn't choose.
I think the only person who's going to watch this far is, what is his name?
I don't know.
The person who does our production now?
Oh, right, Vinny. I thought you meant there's one guy that was sending requests. Remember, we ended up watching like a 93 episode of WWF Superstars last year.
Terrible. Never listen to that guy again. Thanks for supporting, but choose a better show next time.
I don't want to like say this out loud because we are filming, but I can't remember his name. I appreciate you wherever you are.
We love the engagement.
I've been Jack Milner. She's been Liz Minute, and he's been John Jacobs. He's done the plugs, so I don't have to. And we'll see you all very soon. Ta-ra!
Hasta luego.